You're listening to the PRO Media Network. The next level in entertainment.
Get ready. It's time for the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys. Telling you everything you need to know about the Saints, Pelicans, and a whole lot more.
Welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guy. And we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports family. I'm Big Q, and this is podcast 336 on the Sports Coma, 336. More Saints news coming at you, family, on this glorious Sunday. Chilly, kind of chilly, weird chilly Sunday morning. But you know the Saints, man, they never short of drama as they continue to provide the drama in this one. Episode 336, we're going to go over it as the Saints lose a pivotal, literally the center of the offensive line. Three-time Pro Bowl center Max Unger is chosen to retire after 10 seasons in the black and gold, man. He spent some time with the Seattle Seahawks prior to being traded here. But we'll recap that as well in this episode of the Sports Coma. Unger hangs him up. And the main question is, of course, with Unger hanging up his boots, who's going to follow behind with the Saints to replenish that offensive line. Once again, welcome aboard, family. Thank you for joining us on this Sunday morning as we get into more Saints talk about Max retiring, also his possible replacements coming up here. We'll talk about that and other Saints news and notes on today's episode. Getting right into it. Max Unger, man. Series of really surprised Saints Nation. Was there any inkling that the Saints possibly could have known that Unger was going to hang him up? Now, they did bring in the only offensive lineman of the free agent market, as you know, brought him in for a visit recently. That's pretty much it. Was Easton, and of course, Nick Easton's a former offensive lineman of the Minnesota Vikings, who did say he'll make a decision on where he would play on Monday. You know, it's an indication that he possibly could be heading back to Minnesota. There are other teams involved. But, of course, with the announcement of Max Unger going down, it's a clear-cut choice, isn't it, family? You're looking for a starting job. Opportunity the Saints looking at him. Now, he could play center. He played center as well as guard, and the Saints value those type of guys that can give them multiplicity. And Easton is a guy that does have a good amount of experience. Before we get into Easton, let's talk about Unger. Of course, now with Unger hanging him up, now, of course, you know, he turned 33. He'll turn 33 next month. It's kind of weird, giving him, but I guess he made enough money and accomplished enough as a football player. You know, when it's time to chill with your family, enjoy your life, man, big ups. But the salary cap, as far as the Saints are concerned, they saved some money losing Max Unger. I think he had just 1 year left on his deal in 2019. The Saints will gain almost $7 million back in salary cap this year, and they also will cap about $1.75 million in dead money against the cap in the previous signing. Now, third-year centers Cameron Thomas among the likely candidates to compete for Unger's job. The Saints also have second-year guard Will Clapp on the roster. They could turn to free agents, though, as they've done in Easton. So third-year center Cameron Tom, not really confident in his abilities, more of a reserve than anything. Will Clapp still has a lot to learn. But, of course, people will remember Max Unger, who wound up becoming the biggest free agent prize for the Saints in the blockbuster trade back in 2015 when they sent Jimmy Graham packing. After signing him, they sent him packing to pick up a first-round draft pick from Seattle, who turned out to be Stephon Anthony, and, of course, getting Max Unger in a deal, who quickly established himself as the leader on the offensive line. Now, he was terrific over the past years with the Saints there, and ultimately He made his first Pro Bowl as a member of the Saints this past season, while they went 13-3, earned the NFC's #1 seed before falling one game short of the Super Bowl. We already know how that went. And, of course, his previous Pro Bowl nods came with the Seattle Seahawks, who drafted him in the second round out of Oregon. Now, he also joins Benjamin Watson, who also chose to retire from the Saints as well. So losing Unger, we knew Ben Watson was going to retire. That was kind of put out there before, so we knew what we had to deal with in losing Ben. But this is kind of a surpriser, a kind of shocker. Something tell me the Saints had an inkling about it, that he would, hence the establishment of bringing in Nick Easton. Now, going to Nick Easton, who's a 26-year-old young veteran, 4 years experience out of Harvard, was an undrafted guy the Ravens picked up back in 2015. He, of course, spent a lot of time with the Minnesota Vikings, over about 4 years with the Vikings. Actually, his previous contracts with the Baltimore Ravens, pardon me. And then he did spend some time with the Vikings as well. Now, with the Saints looking at Eason, they brought him in for a look-see. And like I said, Eason was supposed to be a guy the Saints were supposed to plan on signing. Now he said he is choosing from 3 teams. This is coming from Eason himself, and the finalists are the Vikings, the Saints, and a supposed mystery team. That's who he's coming down to. Now, of course, with Max Unger retiring, this is obviously a better fit in terms of him looking. I don't know if he goes back to the Minnesota Vikings. That might be fine. With the extra money, maybe the Saints can offer him a better money deal. But looking at the free agents rosters, as far as the free agency goes, centers left on it, it's not too compelling. I mean, the Vikings just let Khalil go, and I don't think you want any piece of that. But outside of that, the Saints, man, losing Max Unger is going to hurt, and replace him with Nick Easton. No disrespect to Nick Easton, but he got a long way to go before he's anywhere close to a player like Max Unger. So losing a pivotal piece like Max Unger right as, in a week or two into free agency, and then most of the good free agents are gone, it's going to hurt a little bit. Hurt a lot, actually, to lose the center. You know how you can replace maybe a guard or a tackle, but to lose the center of your offensive line, which at the last 3 years, the Saints, actually more than that, the Saints offensive line has been the best in pro football, most balanced line in pro football, in my opinion. And to lose a guy like Max Unger, man, that's going to sting a bit, and replace him with Nick Easton. So I don't know how Nick Easton will fit in the system, but he's yet to make his determination. More than likely, it'll be sometimes Monday, we'll know. But my inclination is that I think probably this guy is probably the Saints' next center. Like I said, if he doesn't work at center, you can kick him out the guard. He can play either or. And like I said, the Saints always value that type of, ability. Now, looking at the rest of the things dealing with the New Orleans Saints so far, not too much to report on the fact that Jared Cook has just been kidnapped and stuck down in the Saints training camp since Thursday. We haven't heard not one hide or hair of him anywhere. I mean, even in the inside is saying he's been down here. The Saints obviously dealing with him, discussing with Jared Cook. He hadn't left anywhere. Saints haven't said anything about him. To the contrary, reports have been pretty silent, but something has to be in the workings right now. Haven't heard a damn thing from Jared Cook. Have been all over social media, been all over the insiders. The guy is still in New Orleans, according to the information that we're getting. And to look at what the Saints depth chart look as getting a guy, they definitely become, you lose Max Unger. I guess that now is that shared with tight end is now the biggest need for the Saints. What you think about that, family? Y'all chime in, let me know. But this definitely hurts, man. And you looking at Cameron Tom, Will Clapp, or Nick Easton, man, that it'll take all 3 of them guys rolled into one to even get even close to Max Unger. But who knows? We might now, I don't know, might look for something in the draft. I don't know. We'll see. Possibly a trade. Would the Saints be good with Easton as a center prospect? I don't know. Is that one's got me kind of stumped. But anyway, Jared Cook, man, still in the thrones of the Saints organization. Nothing is high to tail on him. Ziggy Ansah, another dude that is down here, There's still injury concerns about whether or not his shoulder is truly rehabilitated. If he was truly healthy, Buffalo would have not let him out of the building. They have more cap money to throw at Ziggy Ansah than the Saints do. So it's not a good sign that the Buffalo Bills actually chose to let him walk on by and move to the Saints. It's going to be interesting to see exactly what the Saints is going to do as far as Ziggy Ansah, even though they did do a good job of bringing in talent like Edwards Jr. and also the big fella Malcolm Brown into the fold to improve the defensive line. A lot of great commentary we had from the previous show about what's going on with the Saints defense in terms of upgrading the defense, solidifying the defensive line, putting Malcolm Brown in the center of the defensive line, upgrading him over Tyler Davison, of course, then adding the backup defensive lineman to help the Saints in the Alex Okafor role. So Edwards Jr. But this is the funny thing about the Saints, man. You know, when we plug one hole, another one, you know, another piece of the pipe busts open, and what a big piece. Going back to Max Unger, man. Really big Pete to lose Max Unger. And still, remember, Andrews Pete is another guy that the Saints are looking at as well. You know, so the Saints, man, they have to be real careful. And, of course, the fact that we had those extra draft picks the year before and then squandered all those picks, you know, that's would have really helped because we wouldn't have to spend that much money. We'd have had some depth. That's why it's so important to keep hold to some of those draft picks, man, because you never know what you'll be dealing with if players retire or whatnot. But we're limited selection on draft picks, and I don't know if the Saints will be able to plug some of those holes, man. I don't know, man. This is very interesting. This is going to hurt a good deal. Because we're looking at the free agency, man. I'm checking out the free agent wire when it deals with some of these guys out here, and the pickings are slim. You know, most of the guys have been picked up. Some of the best guys have been picked up in free agency, and we just stuck with the leftovers, just saying. But getting $7 million back on it from Max Unger is a bright spot, despite the fact that he is no longer going to be a black and gold member. Helps the Saints to maybe up a deal to Jared Cook or maybe slide some money elsewhere. Perhaps, I don't know, perhaps we can use a future pick to acquire a center prospect. Or if you feel like this guy could actually be a competent helper to the New Orleans Saints organization, y'all tell me what y'all thoughts on, man. I don't know too much about Easton. I looked at some video on him. He looks like a decent offensive lineman. But when you used to a guy like Max Unger and what he brought to the organization for all those, you know, for those years that he served, was the epitome of excellence. He was a perfect fit there with him and Drew came on there. And it's not just plug and play with some of these guys. You know, the center is a relationship between the center and the quarterback. And, of course, why couldn't Max just wait one more damn year? You know, Drew probably might retire 1 year, just one more year, Max. You know, and that could have really helped out. But Max is at his wit's end in terms of what he wants to play in the professional football league. He's choosing to move on, and big ups to Max Unger for everything that he did since he been down here. So a lot of changes in the black and gold nation. Y'all, this is a really big one. This is a really big one, really interesting one. I want to hear y'all thoughts on this one. Y'all chime in and let me know in the comments section. What do you guys think about Max Unger's retirement at the time that it came? You know, will the Saints be able to – I know they'll get somebody, but what do you think? Who do you think they should get? Is Nick Easton a good well, that's an easy question. No, but I mean, it's the best you can get right now. So as far as things stand right now with the Saints organization, we gain on the defensive side of the ball, while on the other side of the ball, we tend to lose with a huge loss in Max Unger. Good grief, man, to lose that guy. And, of course, the Saints have issues, you know, as far as Andrews Pete is concerned. We're still looking at whether or not the Saints going to do something with Andrews Pete. You know, that's another thing we have to consider as well. You know, it's very interesting, man. The Saints have to just keep on plugging and keep adding people there to kind of help bridge that gap. Andrews Pete, base salary $9.6 million for 2019. A lot of people yelling upgrade, but I mean that might have to wait a bit. I don't know. He played every position on the Saints offensive line but center. But who besides Easton, what do you guys think of besides a trade? Is Tom? What's the guy's name? Cameron Tom. Is Cameron Tom a good replacement for Max Unger? Can he step up? Is Will Clapp, who was a very good prospect out of LSU, obviously, do you think that he's learned enough to make a position on Nick Easton the best fit for the team? Is it the case? It does. We're getting stronger in other areas, but offensive line wise, we losing this one. Ain't no doubt about it. We definitely losing in this move, y'all, as we move forward. So why couldn't Max Unger say, you know what, next year I'm gonna retire? Because that would have been just perfect for us, man. We wouldn't have to deal with replacing them this late in the game. And I don't know, man. Offensive lineman Nick Easton, according to several reports that I'm getting here, saying that he's the replacement for Max Unger. And I don't know, man. Like I said, we'll know something definitely on Monday whether or not he will be the Saints guy. But the Vikings have made a decent offer to him, as what we hearing. They want him back up there. And I don't know, we are bidding for the Vikings for Nick Easton. But now we in a serious position with this guy. I don't know. I don't know. I watched some footage on him. I'm not drastically impressed with who this guy is. Undrafted guy, not especially fast, not especially strong. He's fundamentally okay. Nothing jumps off the screen about him. And of course, with the Vikings cut Mike Reimers, a former offensive line, and then they're redoing Tom Compton, who's a free agent. They do need help, and they are definitely trying to get this guy back. So if the Saints don't get Easton, who's next? Who's next? You guys tell us what's going on here, because I don't have a clue about this Easton character, man. I don't know, and hopefully the Saints could be able to do something, to kind of make it right here, man. So hopefully we'll get that stuff looked at. Also, while we got some time here before we end the show, I want to talk to you guys about the upcoming live shows, video shows is coming up next month. That's right. The Sports Coma is going live in terms of bringing you video shows. Thanks to your great your donations out there and your support, we've reached the level where we'll start doing live broadcasts for the Sports Coma. Of course, we have other podcasts, if you're not aware of, the Breen Kings Boxing, where we cover all the latest boxing news. Errol Spence and Mikey Garcia had a great one last night, and Spence cleaned them up. Now you're looking at Pacquiao. We cover boxing. We got the Pelicans post-game report, even though you might not want to hear what I got to say, but it's still spicy commentary like you would get here at the Sports Coma. So continue to donate. Our donation banners and markers, links are in the description section below. Keep hitting up our sponsors and showing support to them. Sign up for our social media pages as well. And look out for the WhoDatDaily.com. That's a new website coming up. All Saints Pelican content. Look out for that. From me and the crew here at the Sports Coma, thank y'all for joining us. Man, what we gonna do about this Max Unger thing, fam? Y'all chime in, let us know. We'll see you later. Peace.
I'm a Saints and Pelicans fan, so the only podcast I can get my fix is the Sports Coma with Big Q. The guy's intense, funny, and they always keep it real.
Check out the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys.
Embrace Pet Insurance is more than just pet insurance. Embrace Pet Insurance promises to provide genuine support and certainty when your pet needed the most. With personalized accident and illness policies, compassionate customer care, 24/7 access to veterinary professionals, flexible wellness plans, timely claims processing, and online customer portals, their values is what makes them Embrace. So, when selecting a pet insurance company as a partner in your pet's care, you deserve a company that has your pet
pet's best interests at heart. Get top-rated and reviewed coverage for your pet today. Up to 90% back on bills at any vet, total protection, pet insurance and wellness, and dependable claims payments. Get the top-rated and reviewed coverage for your pet today. Go to EmbracePetInsurance.com. That's EmbracePetInsurance.com. Check the link in the description section below.
Are you a boxing fan? Check out Ring Kings Boxing only on the PRO Media Network.
Sports fans are gearing up and saving big at Fanatics.com, the world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear. From all the leagues, teams, and players you love, unique one-of-a-kind designs exclusively by Fanatics, and autographed collectibles from today's biggest stars shipped directly to your home. Join Fanatics Rewards for free to earn fan cash on every purchase. Shop now and for a limited time, get 20% off all orders. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything.
Hit the link below and rep the black and gold today. Who that?
Do you need a domain name? How about a host for your website that can work with WordPress? Try Namecheap.com. They make registering, hosting, and managing domain names for yourself or others easy and affordable because the internet needs people. Namecheap is an ICANN accredited domain register and technology company founded in 2000. It's one of the fastest growing American companies according to the 2018 Inc. 5000, celebrating nearly 2 decades of providing unparalleled levels of service, security, and support. Namecheap has been steadfast in customer satisfaction with over 10 million domains under management. Namecheap is among the top domain registers and web providers in the world. They offer a full selection of popular and unique domains along with fully featured hosting packages, SSL security certificates, WhoisGuard privacy protections, and more, all at the lowest prices in the industry. So if you need a domain name or hosting or anything else, think Namecheap.com. That's right, Namecheap.com. Check the description section below for link.